On a Tuesday afternoon, your reconciliation bill will make the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill from Joe Biden law. How does this work? Well, the reconciliation bill will now allow the $1.9 trillion stimulus package bill from Joe Biden to be passed without a single GOP vote. And with that, your stimulus package could be rolling out as early as the end of this week. Stimulus checks could come no less than 10 days thereafter. And there's a lot of surprises delivered first on this channel today that we didn't even know were in the stimulus package. They include mortgage assistance and the return of the Eidl grant. This is Third Stimulus Check and Third Stimulus Package. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Los Angeles, direct this afternoon, and this is LA with big developments across the board, from Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home, and these are the breaking details as Congress is set to pass a third stimulus package because it doesn't need a single GOP vote. Why is this? It's because of a reconciliation procedural maneuver, which I'll explain in this video. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, because had you subscribed earlier today, you would have heard on Home LA8 the breaking developments. The bill has gotten to the finish line. Because of the reconciliation process, the bill is becoming law. It's no longer a question, it's just the question of what day. Meantime, also like this video. And if you've not become a member, you need to become a member because you would have had access to a document obtained by LA which explains more of the incredible details that are in the third stimulus package, which I had not even heard myself, even though I had a 30-page summary of the 6,000-page bill. So become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. The link is in the description and also at the top of this video. In this video, I'm going to go over why the excitement has now unfolded with the finality of a law for your third stimulus package, and why reconciliation has done it and could do it again. With that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you start this afternoon is that the Biden camp, ironically at the same time that I told the Purple Power followers of this channel to step up and urge Biden to go bigger and bolder, did exactly that. How did this work? Somewhere between early last week and late last week, someone, including the Purple Power, got to Joe Biden and said, stop calling up GOP leaders and just do the bill. You had promised the bill on day one. We're at week 3. And suddenly he made the change. The change is something called a reconciliation process. I use the description of a tow truck with a tow hitch. The tow truck is the reconciliation process. The tow hitch is the bill, the $1.9 trillion stimulus package bill that's behind it. The tow truck and tow hitch process can be done as often as you so wish. The Trump administration used it twice in 2017. You have to have control of both the House and the Senate to do this, and that's what the Democrats currently have. Indications today suggest that Joe Biden may continue to use this process as often as so needed because viewers of this channel, myself, and other Democrats and insiders have told Joe Biden, stop waiting for Republicans to give you support. They're not going to give you support, and all they're going to do is delay. And with that, the bill is becoming a finality. How soon, where is this landing, and what is happening? Let me explain it very simply. The reconciliation, the tow truck part of the equation, will become law as early as the end of this today. Then, what's hitched to the back of the truck, the tow, which is the stimulus package, the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill, that could become a law by the end of this week. And then you're done. It's done. The stimulus law will be finished. There is no question that it's going to become a law. However, as we sit here today, it's actually finalized as we sit here looking at it. Why? Because every Democrat has now come on board and say they're voting in favor of the reconciliation. By voting in favor of the reconciliation, it means that what's on the back of the toe, on the hitch, will become law. It's no longer a question. The only issue is what day are they voting on it. Potentially by the end of this week, this will become law. So what does this mean for you? First, let's go over routing times, and then I'm going to go over the incredible details of the items that are in the third stimulus package, details which you have never heard of until today on Home Elevate, which was the most watched show ever in the history of our midday programming. Thank you for tuning in, and continue to subscribe. What's in there, and what are the routing times? First, let me go over the routing times. We have to go back to what I've always represented to you based upon Steve Mnuchin's representations of summer 2020. If the bill becomes law by the end of this week, you would add no less than 10 days of routing times to receive the stimulus check. Now, you certainly saw on the second stimulus package, some viewers actually got the stimulus check in 24 hours. No joke. Other viewers, it took them all the way up to this last weekend to get the stimulus check from late December. So we see different routing times for different people. But generally, I say about 10 days to start, and then after that, more people roll out thereafter. All right, let's go over the deal provisions. And these are very exciting. Before I get to the deal provisions, I want you to understand the following. Everything that I reported to you over the last 2 days about Republican proposals, Republican eligibility, Republican economic income levels and qualifications, throw that out because it's not law. It's never going to see the light of day. So it has nothing to do with what I'm about to tell you. First, $1,400 stimulus check, individuals. $2,800 stimulus check, adult married couples. $1,400 stimulus check, children. $3,200 adult dependents stimulus checks. If you're on any benefits like Social Security or railroad benefits or veterans benefits, same amounts, no change whatsoever, either $1,400 or $3,200. Very simple. Not taken out for debt collection, not taken out for bad taxes, not taken out for child support, but we're still waiting to see all the provisions. Until then, we still wait anxiously. Next, rent and a big surprise. What's the big surprise? Mortgage assistance. Mortgage assistance is in the third stimulus package. This hit like a tsunami on our midday show today when in a cold read I read from Nancy Pelosi's details of what's in there. And for the first time ever, we saw those words. You saw those words minutes earlier because I delivered it as a new download, or actually link, to members today. This is what is in the bill. Relief funds for millions of Americans struggling to make rent and mortgage payments, and those experiencing homelessness. Now, the rent and homelessness, I had told you for a while. Joe Biden has rent assistance for middle class, low income, and homelessness, but for the first time ever, we hear there's mortgage assistance as well. Really shocking, great news. And then there was another jaw-dropping bombshell that was added in there that no one saw coming. That in a second. FPUC is extended under the third stimulus package. It's $400 a week from now to September 2021, with UI and PUA extended to September 21. That means that if you are unemployed between now and September, which I hope you're not, which is about 40 weeks, you're going to get about $14,000 to $16,000 in FPUC alone. You could easily get over $20,000 in unemployment during that duration of time if you are actually unemployed during that entire duration. No FPUC retro. Next, the question about multiple stimulus checks, that came with really good news today as well. Joe Biden's camp is now suggesting, not just him, but also his press secretary and his team members, that he thinks the $1.9 trillion stimulus package is too small. The exact same thing that I've been saying and you've been saying on this channel. Joe Biden is going back and repeating what he said during his transition papers. If he has to do another bill, he'll do another bill. So MSC is not off the table. It is certainly still on, with Joe Biden promising to come back with another stimulus package if he needs to, if this is not sufficient. And guess what? with the reconciliation process, he can do it in about a 1-week turnaround and doesn't need to wait around for anyone. It's that quickly. The urgency, the speed, and the process and the simplicity of this procedural maneuver is really helpful for people that are trying to get out stimulus right away. So what is that big surprise that's in the third stimulus package? Boy, ready for the bombshell? The return of the EIDL grant. Wow. If you tune in to Early Mornings LATE, Overnight's LATE actually, and you watch our show EIDL Grant every morning at 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you'll see that the video that I went on a throwback to 2 nights ago was a breaking news report in about July of 2020, where I ran on camera and I said, I'm sad to report the EIDL grant is closed. In fact, after the next few days thereafter, I stopped recording any more EIDL grant videos in about July 2020 because the EIDL grant was closed. For the first time since then, the EIDL grant for new applicants will open up. This is incredible great news. And it's a triple prong approach, which is going to be a little hard to describe. Certainly, I'm not going to do in this video. But you have EIDL grants in the second stimulus package, which hasn't rolled out. And you have EIDL grants in the third stimulus package, which will roll out as well. Basically, they're ramping up the program, giving it funds, so that people that were unpaid in a delineation get paid first in line until they bring it up to the present, and more people can apply as well. Really incredible, great news. This is what it says. And get ready for this. There's other grants as well. Additional relief for our nation's small businesses, hard-hit industries through increased funding for the EIDL Advance Grants. That's what it's called, the Advance Grants. The creation of a dedicated grant relief program for restaurants. Expanded PPP assistance for nonprofits and digital media services. More funds for Save Our Stage grants to independent live venues, independent movie theaters, and cultural institutions. And new community navigator technical assistance to help connected underserved communities with critical resources. There you go. Now, what is mentioned and not mentioned in Nancy Pelosi's item? Let me make certainly clear. Nancy Pelosi's document, which you have attained as a member of this channel because I provided to you earlier today, is not comprehensive of everything that Joe Biden said in his 30-page summary of his bill. So you're not going to see her mention hazard pay. You're not going to see her mention tax credits and things like that. She's not expected to be being comprehensive in this letter. This was basically a detail of what's coming up, but not basically a teaser of what's coming up. So the remainder of the items that I've talked about in the third stimulus package are still there. For example, $1,400 a week up to for paid sick leave, $1,700 child support, $1,700 financial aid for college students, paid sick leave, tax credits, hazard pay, public sector hazard pay, private sector, and hazard pay tax credit as well, and other provisions. But those will be rolling in there as well. There'll be funding to defeat coronavirus, including through support through vaccines, testing, public safety health programs. There'll be support for hungry families through programs like SNAP, WIC, and Pandemic EBT. When I first saw this, I wasn't particularly clear if this meant more money for SNAP and more money for PEBT. By all accounts, it could be. Why is this? Let me recap. Over the week and on Saturday, I detailed to you that Joe Biden on Friday quietly rolled out an expansion of PEBT. Now understand there's been now 3 new orders for food and PEBT since day one of the Biden administration. These are where they are currently. First, SNAP is now 15% increase from January to December. 2, pandemic EBT is now increased from now to, I believe, it's September 2021, 15%. 3, pandemic EBT has now been ordered to be rolled out nationally to all states, so states are now applying. Number 4, PEBT will now include, for the first time ever, children 6 years or younger. Number 6, those children 6 years or under will be paid retroactively back to August. Number 7, those children will also get a 15% increase, which could bring it to as high as $134 in some states, but even more in other places like Puerto Rico and Hawaii. So you see there's a lot of major roll-ups in SNAP and food. And until we see the actual bill, we won't know if that's more money on top of the 15% or just increasing the eligibility. There'll also be funding for the Economic Development Administration and environmental justice grants to help low-income minority communities have been hardest hit. How do the EDA and environmental justice grants work, and how much are they? I'll have those details as soon as they hit. So much happening across the board. You see why I'm very excited for you. So to recap, as we sit here this afternoon, you're likely to see all this finalized by as early as the end of this week. It will be finalized. There's nothing to block it from being finalized. The only issue is just timing. Which day of the week will this become law? You will then get a $1,400 stimulus check, $3,200 for adult dependents, and then all the programs will ramp up with your ability to apply. As a Purple Hawk, as a subscriber to this channel, member to this channel, you will be informed first of how, before anyone else, about how to apply for these programs to make sure you get every dollar. Remember, the purpose of membership of this channel is not for you to just track a check. That's somewhere else. The purpose is for you to get as much money as you can, whether it's EIDL or hazard pay, or it's tax credits, or it's paid sick leave. As soon as the bill is finalized, you'll have all the details here before anywhere else. Make sure you subscribe. Best darn channel there is, comprehensive around the clock. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Meantime, I'll see you next on What the Chop. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay in that life for more.